Okay, so we're going to start the summer edition of our meetup. This time it will be a slightly different formula. So two quite short presentations, very short from my side, then a break, and then we'll make some brainstorming to come up with the ideas how we want to organize the next events. So yeah, this first presentation from me will be about the news from the JS world and from the latest version, number 12, that will become the LTS this year. Okay, so my name is Cezary Dynak. I'm working as a Node.js developer. I am outsourced several times, but basically I have my own company. I'm creating the IoT backends in Node, in the cloud, in Azure. And I have some accounts on some reasonable social media, yeah, rather Microsoft than Facebook. Yeah, so three points for today for this presentation and the summary what will happen next, possibly with Node.js. Yeah, so the first is about performance improvements. That's something that is always on one of the first places whenever a new version of Node is being introduced. So yeah, we are working on performance. It's very nice that they have a separate working group that is verifying whenever adding some new components to the core are not slowing down Node, but making it even faster. I myself have a very simple idea to verify it. So just I'm using the, maybe some bigger font. View. Okay, so just, yeah. So I'm simply using the Node version manager to test several versions of Node and then creating a sample application. Basically, I have it right now. Yeah, so yeah, so I just have three different directories. I created each of them using the Express application generator. So that's just a command line tool from the Express framework to create the basic application. I set my console to the target version of Node, and then run the application and run some very easy benchmark test with the Ultra tool, which is also a Node.js tool. So you can also make it here. Yeah. So first, let's go to the Node.js number 8, because basically that's also the case from my job that we're migrating from Node.js version 8 to directly to the Node.js version 12, because 8 is still in the LTS maintenance phase. So I'm here and I'm using Node version 8. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and it's being started, the sample application, and sorry, and okay, I hit it always on top. Yeah, just as simple as that. Yeah, this is this command basically. Font is a bit too big, so it's running for some time. Let's give it the time for a warm up. Yeah, for the first time, this application needs to. Okay, just handling the first request is always smaller, always slower, and then we have the better results. That's what we could get for the Node.js version 8. And then I will switch switch us to the Node version 12. Yeah, and the modules in the appropriate versions were already installed before. Oh, sorry. Sorry, so maybe like this. Yeah. Okay, sorry, it's already in use. I have it opened in another window somewhere else. In there, possibly this application hasn't been closed, but this is okay. I made those tests already before for the free versions of Node. So for the Node.js version 8, version 10, and version 12, and yeah, basically we can see that this it's not that drastical difference, because just it's about the portions of milliseconds, but visibly that's my average from say 5 runs for each of the Node.js versions. So we can see that it's getting better, right? It's really looks quite nice, but well, it's nothing that astonishing, but it's listed on the first place on the improvements on the Node. Yeah, we can say it for the Node version 12, and which is also really nice. As I said, there is a working group, Node.js working group, that is focusing strictly on comparing various metrics for the for Node, and there is a page called Node.js benchmarks, Node.js.org, and they have like their routines to verify how good the node is performing, and also the very important improvement here is that the startup time is decreased. So yeah, that's something that they are proud of. The second thing that we have here is about ECMAScript module support, and basically it's not about introducing the support of the ECMAScript modules, but it will be we can use it from the LTS 12. We can use it without any special experimental flag, right? So basically we also could do this kind of imports using some other transpilers. Also, if you're using TypeScript, you're also using this kind of import that were already in the working in the JavaScript in the web browsers, but Node.js was sticking to the common JS pattern. Yeah, so here you have the diagram about how this works. Also, it is stated that the ECMAScript modules should use the different extensions. And basically, if you like to be fully compatible, you need to import the ECMAScript modules from other ECMAScript modules and CommonJS modules from CommonJS modules. And if we would like to break this pattern, it's like this kind of action should be handled in different way. So it is quite easy to import the CommonJS modules from if we are using the ECMAScript modules, because we are just using the basic type of import, and that's fine with all the syntax. But if you would like to import the ECMAScript modules from CommonJS modules, from what was already in JavaScript, we need to use the async await structure, because those modules are loading asynchronously, right? So we need to wait until everything is being loaded here. And I will also use the example of this Express application here. How we can tune it, because until the Node.js 12 will hit the LTS, until it's not the LTS, we still need to add the experimental modules flag there. Yeah, so this is the this is how it is being required in standard CommonJS way. And in the yeah, and that's how the syntax looks basically for the ECMAScript models, but only the basic import, because we cannot use the star notation here. Yeah, it's only the basic import that is available here. And if we use the if we use it like verified node version, so okay, so nvm use 12. Okay. We're done. So if we just try to run it like this, we should see the warning, because this is yes, it's not possible to use it because we need to add this flag still. So and this is the okay, vulnerabilities, but they're already installed there. Experimental models in the yeah. Well, but basically, this is what how it is intended to work there, and I think that possibly it's not that it will be that much visible for everybody when we will use the node, because it's only about syntax if you are thinking about writing the code. Rather, it's about integrating the process of integrating the functionality of the JavaScript engine from the browser and the Node.js. So it's about possibly in the future all of the modules will be migrated to that mechanism. But basically, it should work. It should work in the same way, right? And the third way, that is the third thing that is introduced here, is the experimental report. So this ECMAScript models were already available at the Node.js version 11, but the reports are introduced right now, and it's only with the experimental flag. It's the so the API was extended. So basically, if we just it's 12, and if we use Node with the yeah, we can use the process report, right? Yeah, and the report was generated. So yeah, this one is from that moment, and it's just we could use it from our Node.js application, and we could get some sample data. It was I'm not sure whenever it will be that useful when writing it from scratch, but possibly some other monitoring tools will start to use it to use this module, because it's very handy, providing us a lot of information out of that. So maybe if somebody is running a simple application for testing, that it could be useful, but in general it would be rather useful for the maintainers of some other Node.js tools. So what we could see, what will happen next, and also what we could see what is happening with the Node.js right now. So well, it's quite boring, I would say. So it's stable. So in the 2015, we have the merge of the Node.js and the IO.js projects. We just have seen the introduction of the ECMAScript 6 standard, which was a major significant change from the others. Right now, it is the Node.js is driven by the Linux Foundation. So the Node.js Foundation is a part of the Linux Foundation. So we could assume that Node.js is being more and more stable as like the Linux kernel. So being more stable and as well being a little bit boring. So I was also exciting about finding, wow, what new could be in the Node.js version 12. And yeah, that's that's all what we have here. So some improvements. And yeah, if you would like to track the news, I recommend the official resources from the Node.js Foundation. So the Node.js Everywhere newsletter is providing the information about most important changes and proposals. Also, there is one idea which is very interesting for me. It's the Dino. I know that you have about that. So the Diane Reynolds, who was the initial author of the Node.js, he just stopped using this project, and after several years he started doing it again, and he has some thoughts basically what design principles were bad about Node.js, and he wrote his own JavaScript runtime, and he used the Rust for that with the framework Tokyo. And yeah, we can see that there's also a wordplay here. So Dino, yeah, Node.
Do you know how does it differ from Node.js?
Yeah, the most important thing that I see here is about the security and about the approach to the packages, because Node.js is the heart of the Node.js ecosystem is NPM there, and you can basically import simply any module and even don't recognize that it will import thousands of dependencies. And there are also several cases when in very popular applications, in some of the less popular dependencies were moved to somebody else, then somebody else who has where dependency was also nested there, introduced the code to mining some cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so it's this large ecosystem of dependencies is very hard, and his idea is that to reduce the depth of the dependencies, and it is written from a lot of the modules here are written from scratch, and you need to explicitly import each of the dependency that you would like to introduce to your project. Yeah. Yes, out of the box. So it is also, as he wrote that, it is the TypeScript runtime.
Yeah, it supports TypeScript, but it's written in Rust, right?
It's I mean, it's also still using the V8, right? But because it's JavaScript, right? But it's using Rust for all the other operations there. And I believe maybe it's not going to replace Node, because the Node.js trademark is that strong. As you see, the IOJS project was moving more forward than the Node.js, but the Node.js trademark is that strong. So I believe maybe
Not yet. Good. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Piotr Śliwa. I'm the lead developer at 7n/Roche, because 7n is actually my provider, who's serving Roche. Never mind. Okay, so hello everyone. It's nice to have you here. Today we're going to touch upon the topic of end-to-end testing. So for the beginning, I would like to start with a warm-up question for you. So who doesn't know what the testing is? Who doesn't understand the concept of testing at all? Is there anyone like this here? Okay, perfect. I really hoped that you wouldn't raise your hand. Okay, so now let's move to the a little bit more narrow part of this topic. So who doesn't know what end-to-end testing is? Really, everyone? Okay, cool. So I have to talk about it anyway because of the audience that is available online. So basically, end-to-end testing, basically when you test your application, you can do it on different levels, right? So you can unit test the most basic part of your code, right? You can test your method, your whole class. Then you can test a module, you can test your service, and then you can integratively test a few services. How do they talk to each other? So if you go wider and wider with the testing scope, you finally end up with your end-to-end test. So basically you want to fill your user's shoes and test your application from end to end, right? So you can take your business process, try to click around at your application, and then you try your result, and you try if your whole system, if your whole application works as expected. Okay, great. So now let's go to the tools that are available for end-to-end testing. So maybe let's because this actually I wouldn't like to go here now. So do you know, if you know, because you didn't raise your hand, and so basically you said that you know end-to-end testing. So what tools do you know? Selenium, okay. Nightwatch, I didn't know that, but okay. And anyone else? Cypress, cool. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So we have Cypress, Selenium, we have Nightwatch. Nightwatch, all right. Any other? Okay, let's stick with those three, because basically I'm going to compare Selenium, which I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the most popular tool for end-to-end testing right now. I think so. So let's say that there is Selenium and Cypress, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. But right now I'm going to compare these two tools. How do they differ? Because there is a quite significant difference between them that may that if you make your mind, if you choose one or another, you have to be aware of. So basically, Selenium, what does Selenium is that you write a test script in any library that is supported by Selenium, right? You can write it in Scala, Node, Ruby, JavaScript, basically any language that has Selenium library available. And then your test script connects to a browser driver via JSON wire protocol. So there is a communication over the wire with WebDriver and with browser driver. And the browser driver then instructs the real browser to do some actions, and the actions are then analyzed by the browser driver. And you have, right now, I know that you have the drivers for Chrome, for Internet Explorer, for Edge, Safari, Opera, and Firefox. So basically, the big players are supported by Selenium. But anyway, you have the communication there. So there's the one part you have to be aware of, that there is a communication. So if you write a test, this test, it's not directly connected to the tested application or to the browser that tests your application. Okay. The second thing is that there are a lot of both languages and browsers supported. Yeah, so this is a bit different than in the case of Cypress, which actually you write your test script only in JavaScript. At the moment, only JavaScript is supported Possibly TypeScript, but I'm not sure about it. TypeScript, yes? Oh, yeah, so... yeah, so... All right, okay, so TypeScript and JavaScript. And what Cypress is, it actually, what the Cypress team did, they actually took Chrome browser, they modified it a little bit, and they ended up with a complex tool that includes everything that is necessary to test the application. So there is a browser which runs the Cypress code, which then tests your application. So everything is bundled in Chrome. So this is one way to put it is that it is cool, or it is not cool because only Chrome is supported. But other way, if you look at it from other perspective, it's cool because you don't have to be aware of all the complexity that Selenium brings. And you have really awesome control over your application, which I'll show you in a minute. So, yeah, so this is the difference actually, because in the case of Selenium, you have only indirect control over your browser, and in case of Cypress, you have very direct, very close. You are very close to the browser, so you can do a lot of things. All right, so this is the end of the part of when I talk about the theory, and what I would like to do now is to show you more practical example. So Cypress is an open source tool. It's actually maintained by a company. I don't really know how they called, possibly Cypress. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's maintained by the Cypress Corporation, but they don't charge you for Cypress. Cypress, the test runner is open source, so you can use it wherever you want. If you want to run it locally on your local machine, you can just do it. There's very open license for it. But if you want to dig a little bit deeper and you want to use the Cypress as a service, software as a service, then you can put your money and buy their plan. Okay, so the test runner itself is open source, but their software as a service package is paid. All right. So if you want to use Cypress, all you have to do is just install it via npm. You just do this normal thing, and you have everything bundled. I don't really want to run npm install because it will install for a while. But I'm going to go right into the example. So first, do you see the screen? Everything is visible? Cool, that's perfect. Okay, so here we are. It's Windows, don't judge me, please, because I really, it's easier that way. But you can open the Cypress tool via the npx Cypress and open. Okay, and this is their IDE. This is a very simple application that helps you navigate around Cypress, but you don't have to use it. If you use it on CI, there's also a way to run your test via command line. So basically, you don't do npx Cypress open, you just do npx Cypress run, and everything runs in the command line. So this is just for the developers to make it easier. Because the rationale of Cypress, the whole concept of Cypress, was to make the end-to-end testing easier for developers. So everything that is developed in Cypress is with a thought to make developers' life easier. So that's a cool. For me personally, when I have to test our applications in real life, it's right, like very very. It makes my life much easier. So right now we don't have any tests here. So first we have to create one. Let's call it tests.spec.js. And Cypress is built on top. It uses Mocha, so it's very easy to. It's not like you have to learn whole DSL for testing. It's just everything you should know. So you write a describe. Let's call it my test. And let's say it should be perfect. Call it that way. Okay, and Cypress defines a CI command that is global everywhere, and you basically chain all your commands to the CI, and everything that you instructed, it records and plays then in their prepared browser. I will show it in a second. So first, let's visit some website. Let it be, for example, maybe Bing will be easy. Okay, so we save the example, and let's go here. Now we have our test here. So let's open it. And as you can see, the Cypress opens their prepared browser. Okay, it had to refresh. All right. And what you can see here is the Cypress workspace. On the left side here, there is the time travel feature. It's like, for me, it's the core of whole Cypress. It's the coolest feature of theirs, because, and here, this is the screen that where you can see everything that happens in Cypress. Here on the top, you have the address of the website that it renders. And here you have a few other buttons that I don't really know what they do. So here you have the time travel, and as you can see, every step, when you hover on it, shows the exact snapshot of the whole DOM that was available there when Cypress executed the command. So right now you don't see much. We will see it in a second. So here you have a lot of XHR requests that were fired during our little chat. So let's do something more. Let's say we want to test if we put something here, if we type into this box, the box responds in a standard suggestion pop-up, all right? So what I can do here is I can either just use the normal Chrome web developer, because as this is the normal DOM and is open with normal Chromium browser, you have all features that you have in normal Chrome. So if you want, you can inspect and you can extract, for example, the class or ID of this element, but Cypress gives you this cool feature called Open Selector Playground. So you can basically use it to generate full command of Cypress that you can use for your tests. So for example, we want to put here something. As you can see, Cypress generated a full command for us, and we can copy it to clipboard and then just paste it here. So what we do here is we tell Cypress to get this particular item. That is, it's the CSS syntax. So you can put here anything that we would normally do in, for example, query selector or anything else. So we want to use this item, and we want to click on it. All right. Whenever we save, Cypress has live reload feature. So it's already done what we instructed it to do. If we want to see it once again, we can run all the tests once again. All right, it clicked here. And now you can see the time travel feature quite nicely, because if you hover on each of the step, you can see what happened there. Here was like this. Then we had this selected. Then we clicked on it, right? And the other thing is that you can click here on the step. And what happens right now is Cypress pinning everything to our console. So if we go to console, we have quite nice log of this step. If we go to this step, we get anything that this command get yielded. All right, so let's put something to our text frame, text area. So let's go with cats. Okay, we can see that Cypress put something here. And we wanted to emulate that we pressed enter, all right? Okay, nothing happened, but maybe. All right, something broke. Okay, so we can see that it did what we actually expected it to do, right? Yeah, so this very quick test shows you how the Cypress tool works. Besides this like standard feature that you can actually do in Selenium, it has a few other things that you can do because this is very closely coupled with the browser. So what you can do here is that you can not only navigate around the page and click on something and check the results and basically anything that you normally do in Selenium, but also you have an access to your server router. Because when anything happens, when anything happens in Cypress, so when he sends some requests to your server, everything goes through a router, a Cypress router, and you can actually you can stop this router and, for example, prepare your own response for your from your server. Because right now, at the moment, we test Bing search tool, right? And we don't actually have any access to server. So if we wanted to check what happens if you write, for example, cats in the text area, but the server responds with some dummy response like anything, and we would like to see what happens then, we can actually emulate it. What I'm going to show you right now. So let's go to the moment that we don't have enter here because we just want to put cats in the text box and have the responses here. The suggestions here, sorry. We want to know in what moment, on what step, our server responded with suggestions. So what we could do is we can just go one step by one and check when the suggestions were showed. All right, we can see that it was here, but actually the thing that we can see here that is IPv6 test doesn't actually fit our needs. So we go a little bit earlier. We have images here, so possibly the suggestions haven't been rendered yet. So we go a little bit earlier, and here we have a response that is actually quite readable for us because it's /as/suggestions. So possibly this is the one that we need. And we can click on it. And if we go to console, we have the yielded xhrr command. And we want to stub it. So we write server. This is the instruction that tells Cypress to stop the server, and we want it to root anything that matches this regexp, which is /as/suggestions and anything that goes after it. And we want the server to respond with a dummy response. Sorry? Which one? Ah, server. Yeah, sorry. Oh, sure. Yeah. So it's server. Thanks. And then we want Cypress to route anything that matches this this regex in URL with this dummy response. So let's see what happens here. Okay, as you can see, or if the online watchers doesn't see, I will zoom it in. No, I won't. Okay, so the online watchers will have to believe me when I say that the suggestion is dummy. So basically, it's what we responded. All right. So Cypress have one more cool feature, but to show you, I have to first terminate the IDE, because if you run Cypress with your command line interface, okay, let's wait until it executes. Okay, you can see that it's running. Tests.spec.js is running. My test has run, and it's run successfully. Everything passed. So what you can see here is, because we used command line interface and we didn't actually see what happened in the browser, Cypress provided us with a way to observe what happened, and we can observe it by the generated video file. Here, the video was put into this location, so we have to go to videos. And as you can see, the video is here. Let me show it to you. Okay, it was pretty fast, but if you go second by second, you can see more detail what happened there. So it's cool because when you run your end-to-end tests, for example, on some kind of CI like Jenkins or some other tool, if something wrong happens, you can have an insight into what happened. Another cool feature, cool upside, which gives you this video feature, is that anyone who comes into your project from outside and wants to get familiar with the project, what it does, what happens, can just generate the videos for himself and navigate what happened, how the system really works, right? For me, as the lead developer, who unfortunately I have to talk a lot with people who are onboarded, so I always have to like repeat myself, because I have to tell once again the same story once again. So for me, this video feature is like very it makes my life much easier. All right, I think that's all what I have prepared today. Do you have any question?
Are also other teams or company using Cypress or other Selenium?
Roche is very big corporation, so we use everything there. So possibly Nightwatch too. Yeah, but Cypress is like it makes its way through. So yeah.
So assuming you have to support E9, E11, that crew, would you use just Cypress for small or just small tests, or just running tests only on Chrome and running manual tests on IE11?
That's what we did. Actually, we had to support IE11, I11. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, so basically we have tests for end-to-end tests that really test the IE. which are written in Selenium, and then we have our own tests that test the application that we want to test, the functionalities, and it's written in Cypress. But actually, this is quite big downside of Cypress, that it only supports Chrome and Chromium. But I could see that they have support for other browsers in their roadmap. So possibly, maybe in some near future, they will be supported as well. Yeah, maybe it will. Yeah, it will be easier for everyone. Yeah, exactly. But it would be nice to have support for Firefox too, right? Yeah. Any other question? And 3, 2, No, I haven't used. I don't really know what's in there, but as I heard, it's basically what you have on your local machine, but you don't have to use your local machine. So if you create a startup and you want to outsource as much as possible because you don't want fixed costs, then this way is a good way to go.
You can also like run it on Travis, for example, or Jenkins.
Yeah. And it's not like it's cool in Cypress that they don't make your life harder because you didn't pay them, right? They just it's really easy if you use it on your local machine, but if you buy their product, the software as a service, you only get like your life even better, right? It depends. Yeah, it's definitely faster than Selenium. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I don't really know if you can, live without it. I mean, any end-to-end test will be possibly will be slow, right? What we do is we parallelize as much as possible. So we write our tests so that they can be run in parallel, and we just run it on as many nodes as possible, right? But you use Cypress or some? Ah, all right.
How long is the sample run or your CI? Is it like 10 minutes? Or
Yeah, I don't know if it really will tell you anything because you don't know the application, but they run from 10 minutes to over an hour, but they test it quite thoroughly. So
does Cypress have something like supporting multiple instances out of the box, or you have to run it?
we wrote the parallelization ourselves because we did it when Cypress didn't have it. I heard that it has right now, so possibly you can do this out of the box.
And there's a downside also that you cannot make requests like outside of the main domain. So you need to use this site cy.request, for example, to get like backend data, for example, that out of the proxy. So you cannot, for example, get like ci.visit Google.
Mm-hmm.
They do like ci.visit, I don't know, like Bing. So it's like different domain.
Ah, yes. I think